This problem tells us that the principal took a group of students out to lunch. And it asks, if the lunch was $38 and she gave a 15% tip, how much did she spend on lunch? We're going to solve this problem by setting up a proportion table. So it looks sort of like a window. And on the top row, we're going to label that as part. And the bottom row, we're going to label as whole. The first column, we're going to label as percent. And the second column, we're going to label money. The problem says that she took a group of students out to lunch, and she paid the restaurant $38 for the food and for the building and all the expenses that they have. And then she gave the service person, the waiter or the waitress, a 15% tip. So the first column is percent. That's what this first column is. And the whole of a percent is 100. Percent means out of 100. And the part of the whole that she gave was 15%. And the whole price of the lunch was $38. We need to find out how much money was the part that she gave to the service person. So that's our X, that's our unknown. That's how we set up the proportion table. And then from here, we can go ahead and set up a proportion that'll look like this. 15 over 100 equals X over 38. And to solve this, we can go ahead and use cross multiplication. Here's something that's a useful tool to use. It begins by looking like a proportion table to begin with. But we're going to use the lattice method for multiplication, and we'll put these diagonal lines going from each corner to the opposite corner in the squares. And from here, we can write down the numbers in our multiplication problem, because we're going to be multiplying 15 times 38. So we'll have 1 in the tens place, 5, 15, and then 3, 8, 38. So we can multiply now 15 times 38 using this lattice method to help organize our numbers. So 5 times 3 is 15, 1, 10, and 5 ones. 5 times 8 is 40, 4 tens and 0 ones. 1 times 3 is 3, 0 tens and 3 ones. And 1 times 8 is 8, 0 tens and 8 ones. And now we can go ahead and add. We've done our multiplication, and now addition is what we can do next using this lattice method. So 0, and nothing to add to that. And here 8 plus 4 plus 5, that's going to be 17. So 7 ones, and then we can regroup our 10 up above, that group of 10, which is going to go in the hundreds place up above. And then we have 3 plus 1, that's 5, and then 0. So the answer using this lattice method to be able to organize things is 570. 15 times 38 is 570. Now our next step when we're using cross multiplication is to divide. In this case, we've done the multiplication, 15 times 38, and now we're going to divide 570 by 100. And we could go ahead and use the standard algorithm using the long division method, but there's actually a really quite an easier way to be able to divide by 100. And so what we're going to do is write down the place value system, the number system, our number system down below 570. So we have 5 hundreds, 7 tens, and 0 ones. Now, just to kind of explore this a little bit, if we were going to multiply by 10, we would be taking and moving the decimal one place over to the right. So what was 5 hundreds would then be 5 thousands. Now, if we were going to divide by 10, we would take and move the decimal one place over to the left. So what was 5 hundreds would then be 5 tens. And if we're dividing by 100, we would be taking and moving the decimal over 2 places to the left, which is what we're doing here. 570 divided by 100 is 5 and 70 hundredths, or in this case, we're talking about money, $5.70. And that is the answer to what the tip is. That's what X equals. That's $5.70. That is the cost of the tip. But the question asks, how much did the principal spend on lunch? She had to spend $38 to the restaurant, and she had to spend $5.70 that she had to give to the service person for the lunch, for the work that they did. So how much is that altogether? And that's what we need to find out by adding. So if we add up $38, which is the cost of the meal, and $5.70, which is the cost to the service person, when we add this together, it's $43.70. And that is the answer to this question. $43.70, the total cost of the meal. When you feel comfortable with this question and the different steps, looking at the proportion table, the cross multiplication, the lattice method if you wish to use that, and using the place value system and thinking about dividing by 100 in that easier, quicker way, when you feel comfortable with this, go ahead and try the practice problem that's been grouped with this question on the homework quiz for this week. Again.